Hello everybody and welcome back. And so, you've registered for a competition, now you got to prepare for it. That's what I'm here to talk about today. I would like to go over how I prepare for competitions and what I think is helpful leading up to a competition to hopefully perform well. And so, yes, we're going to talk about that today. First, I would like to say that I have a Discord server now, and it is up and it's running, and I'm going to put the link in the description, but I just want to throw it out there. Please feel free to join. We talk about cubes, and we have a pretty good time in there. Sometimes we race. I go in there and I'll solve with people. It'll be fun. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps out, and I really appreciate it. Anyways, let's get into how do we prepare for competitions? Well, I have a really simple system set up here that I use that has worked quite well, and I would like to review that today. So, first things first, this preparation starts a week before the competition, about 5 days before the competition, we start preparing. And basically what we do is I take just the puzzles I'm competing in, which for the competition I'm doing next week, or weekend, I should say, I'm doing 3 through 5, 7, Scube, and Clock. So those are the only puzzles you will find on my desk this week. And those are the only puzzles I will focus on. And so here's some first overall blanket statements for the entire week. 1, I do not practice anything new. I do not learn anything new. I don't want to clog my brain up with anything new. I want to just focus on solving the best that I can in the week leading up to the competition. I don't want to be struggling to implement a new, thing that I'm trying to do, because, it's like you don't want to try something brand new in a competition, because if you mess it up, that could kill a whole solve. So again, I just do what I know. I don't learn anything new. I think somewhere in there it's important to take a rest day where you don't pick up a cube at all. As hard as it is, believe it or not, I think it actually helps. And this is another important one that I think sometimes people forget. You need to drink a lot of water, eat good food, and get some extra sleep. I try to squeak in an extra hour a day if I can, even if it's a nap in the afternoon. Just extra sleep, help keep your body sharp and ready to go. And another thing that I highly recommend is planning your itinerary. If it's a competition that you have to travel to, you have to stay at a hotel, make sure you got that stuff down, ready to go, know when you need to be places, when your rounds start, stuff like that. And, have that written down somewhere where you can easily access it, because doing that means you don't have to worry about that when the day comes, and you don't have to kind of worry about it throughout the week. You can just be ready to go and have everything set up and just go and have fun and do the thing, So I think those are all really important things to do as blanket statements throughout an entire week leading up to a competition. Now I'd like to get into a little bit of how do I practice the week up to a competition, and maybe these are some things you can take and do yourself and see how they go for you. So day 1 of 5, what I like to do is do some slow solves. I will do some time solves, but mostly I want to go through, clean up any technical things that I found that I think I need to change or fix, or that I know are inherently wrong, and just try to weed some more of those out, because that's kind of what slow solves are for. And then it also helps look ahead a little bit. And so I do some slow solves, try to weed out some technical stuff, try to tighten up everything, make sure I'm doing everything the best that I can, and I think that's really helpful. And then what I do is day 2, I do nothing. I try my best not to pick up a cube, because I think it's important to take a rest day. I think it's important to give your brain a day off. I know personally for me, I like to cube all the time. I like to keep my hands moving. I love to practice. I find it really enjoyable. And so I think that it is important to give yourself a day off where you just don't pick up a cube. And it's very hard sometimes. I definitely could understand that. But I think it's important, again, to just give yourself a break. Sometimes you might put down a puzzle and come back, and all the things that you learned are settling better in your brain, and you're able to perform better. And I think it's important to give yourself that day overall as a blanket day to just do literally anything else. Play some games, read a book, go out with some friends, whatever you got to do. And then we go to day 3, 4, and 5, and I treat those pretty much all the same. And what I'm doing on days 3, 4, and 5 is I'm doing at least 5 averages of 5 on each puzzle that I'm competing in, and then obviously mean of 3s on 6 and 7, just to get a really good feel for what your averages are. And then pretty much, you could do anything else after that. Sometimes I'll go and I'll be like, okay, well, I want to focus a little bit more on 6x6 today, or 7x7 this day, or 3x3. If you feel like there's somewhere you could continue to tighten some things up, but at least doing 5 averages on each puzzle you're competing in, I think that's really helpful. So, I'll be doing this week, I'll be doing, on days 3, 4, and 5 averages on, Scube, 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, 7x7 o'clock, because those are what I'm competing in this upcoming weekend. And I think that's really helpful. So one, kind of get a feel for your averages. You're not like, stopping and being like, oh, you're going to just keep going through, see what you can do, and I think it's important to kind of simulate the competition environment. So, I still use a stack mat. I don't look at the scramble, I don't have a cube cover, but I scramble it, and then I, keep my head up before I start inspection, I don't look at the puzzle, and I try to simulate a competition solve as best as I can when I do those averages, just to kind of remind yourself of what it's like. Also, especially right now when this video is being recorded, the WSA regulations have updated, and I think it's important before the competition to make sure that you're familiar with those, just as a quick reminder, especially because, like I said, at the time of recording this, the regulations did have an update. So maybe, check that out. If there's anything you might have questions on, it's helpful to know those things going into the competition. Other than that, it's really just focusing on have fun. I don't like to put too much pressure on myself to do well at competitions. I'm sure there's some people out there that like to, stalk the psych sheets, and I used to do that a little bit my first comp or two, but I'm coming into it really now just like, let's go have fun, let's do the best that I can. I'm trying to compete with myself more than with others, and that's the joy of doing a hobby or a sport like cubing. You can always just compete against yourself instead and have a good time, so that's important. But yeah, those are kind of the things that I would recommend giving a try before you go to your next competition. Let me know how they work for you in the comments. And if you have any other tips that you would like to do or something that works for you, let me know too. I would love to know that. I'm always looking to better my process and just get better in general. And of course, good luck at your next competition. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.